Imagine you've spent millions, literally millions, on top-tier cybersecurity. Firewalls, encryption, the whole shebang. But then your entire network gets compromised in under 2 hours. And the craziest part? The hackers didn't write a single line of malicious code. I mean, how does an 800-attorney powerhouse law firm fall for that? Welcome to a breaking special report from the Human Error News Network. We're going to explain exactly how this happened, and trust me, you want to hit subscribe, because this is going to completely change how you look at your own security.
Now you might be wondering, how do you hack an unhackable firm? If you're a business leader or an IT manager, you probably lose sleep over data breaches. You've spent countless hours building this impenetrable digital fortress around your company's data. But here is the terrifying truth we have to face today. Your absolute biggest vulnerability? It's not a flaw in your firewall. It is the person sitting right at the keyboard.
Just consider the Blank Rome LLP data breach. Do you know how many malicious viruses were used to orchestrate this massive, devastating attack? Exactly 0. 0. The weapon wasn't code. It was conversation.
Let's dive right into Section 1, inside the Blank Rome breach, focusing on the human element. You know, we are all incredibly vulnerable to this. Why? Because today's social engineering, it isn't some robotic, weird-sounding voice asking for wire transfers. The attackers have evolved. Now, they sound just like Dave from your IT department.
I've actually been combing through the official breach notices and court filings to see exactly how this went down. And getting straight to the facts from their official notice, it's wild. On May 21, 2026, an unauthorized third party called up a Blank Rome attorney, completely successfully posed as the firm's IT department, and they just asked for the data. That's it.
Let's look at the timeline here, because the speed of this illusion is honestly terrifying. May 21st, that fake IT call comes in, right? And the attorney is immediately misled into uploading highly sensitive files to an external, totally unapproved Google Drive account. Now, to their credit, the firm did successfully detect the incident within 2 hours and managed to take the device offline. By May 28th, they figured out the full scope of the exposure. But listen, 2 hours? That is an absolute eternity in cyberspace. That split-second human error exposed the personal information of over 57,000 current, former, and prospective clients. We're talking names, social security numbers, dates of birth, driver's licenses, financials, even medical and health insurance info. Over 3,000 Texas residents alone were caught up in this exact net. Moving on to Section 2, Anatomy of a Fake Call, and the Threat Landscape. Now, if you're finding this explainer valuable so far, make sure you're subscribed to our network. Blank Rome actually did one thing perfectly in their rapid incident response, which literally saved them from total disaster, and we'll get to that in a second. But first, we really need to understand how this specific attack bypassed every single alarm bell.
The contrast between technical hacks and human error hacks is stuck. Instead of technical hacks that require, tunneling through defenses with brute force or complex zero-day malware, we are seeing this massive, massive rise in human error hacks. Attackers are just exploiting human trust. They're using psychological manipulation to trick your employees into bypassing that million-dollar security infrastructure for them. They literally just ask you to open the front door, and people do it.
And here's a crucial point. This was not some completely unprecedented, out-of-the-blue event. The FBI actually warned law firms about this exact scam. They've been tracking this specific scheme since 2023. Cybercriminal groups, you'll often hear names like the Silent Ransom Group or Lunamoth, they have been actively targeting law firms with these exact fake IT support calls.
As for the immediate fallout from falling victim to this known scam, it's immense. Multiple class action lawsuits were immediately filed against Blank Rome, bringing heavy allegations of negligence and breach of fiduciary duty. Now, the firm is arguing that these suits lack merit, specifically because their actual internal network was never breached. Technically, the hackers never cracked the servers, but to the thousands of people whose social security numbers were just sitting out there on an external Google Drive, that technicality really doesn't offer much comfort.
Okay, let's get into Section 3, Detect, Prevent, and Correct, the Solution Matrix. So what does this all mean for us? How do we solve this together? How do we lock down your human firewall before your firm becomes the very next breaking headline?
Well, we can use the insights from this Blank Rome case study alongside top cybersecurity experts to build a really clear 3-step playbook for your organization. Step 1, detect. Step 2, prevent. And step 3, correct. Let's break down step 1, detect. To spot these attacks before they happen, your employees have got to be trained to scrutinize incoming internal calls and recognize the red flags of a fake IT request. You absolutely have to verify IT requests through secondary channels, like if someone calls you claiming to be IT, hang up and message them on your internal company chat to confirm. And most importantly, aggressively question any urgent request to move files to an unapproved external platform like a personal Google Drive.
Then we have step 2, prevent. To stop this in its tracks, you must mandate targeted social engineering training, which, by the way, Blank Rome actually did implement firm-wide after the breach occurred. You also need to establish strict access and file sharing protocols. Utilize data loss prevention tools that physically block accidental uploads to unauthorized platforms. Basically, you want to reinforce your gateways to make this kind of human error literally impossible.
And finally, step 3, correct. If an error does happen, you must correct it immediately. Blank Rome's saving grace here was their rapid 2-hour incident response. Within 2 hours, they took the compromised device offline, deleted the exposed files from that unauthorized Google Drive, and engaged external cybersecurity professionals and law enforcement swiftly. That incredible speed is what contained the blast radius.
Bringing us to section 4, securing your weakest link, your roadmap. Listen, it is time for you to evaluate your own IT protocols today, right now. You cannot wait for tomorrow, because as we've seen, one single misstep by just one employee can trigger a catastrophic failure for your entire business.
Because if you fail to secure your weakest link, you are going to be left footing the bill. According to the documentation from the breach notice, Blank Rome is now having to offer 12 to 24 months of Epic Privacy Solutions ID credit and dark web monitoring for tens of thousands of clients. The financial, legal, and reputational costs, they're just staggering.
So make sure your leadership team applies this detect, prevent, and correct playbook immediately. It is truly the only way to stay one step ahead of the next major threat targeting your operations. And be sure to subscribe to the network for these essential security briefings so we can help keep you informed.
This has been a special report from the Human Error News Network. But before we go, I want to leave you with this thought. As AI voice cloning technology gets better and better, these cybercriminals aren't just going to sound like some random IT guy anymore. They're going to perfectly clone the voices of your actual executives. So when that fake call sounds exactly like your CEO, who will be the next firm to unwittingly hand over the keys to the castle?